crossing the Kentucky River on the Bluegrass Parkway. Spending the day at Mammoth Cave National Park. I'm going to do 2 cave tours today. First the new entrance tour and then the historic tour. There's time before the first scheduled tour for me to explore above ground. I'm going to walk the Green River Bluff Trail. The Green River is below the level of most of Mammoth Cave. There have been a few instances where the Green River has flooded and risen by nearly 50 feet, and in those instances there are some passageways within Mammoth Cave that do get flooded.
This leads back up to the. This leads back up to the business.
Yeah, that's right.
The new entrance to Mammoth Cave was blasted open by George Morrison in 1925 in an attempt to steal away cave tourism from the historic entrance to Mammoth Cave. Now an airlock has been installed to preserve the natural airflow patterns within Mammoth Cave.
This rock is so smooth.
It's like curtains.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cave crickets usually stay near the entrance. This one appears to be living off algae.
Was a part of Mammoth Cave, but basically this sinkhole simply collapsed and sealed this part off and that part, so now you got two separate caves. Cave on this side was over 392 miles long. The cave on the other side, that pile of rock, is 2/10 of a mile long. So big difference. But basically, this is where the water was flowing. These are underground rivers. But I'm like, well, anybody 7'2" want to go on a cave tour to be beyond me. I mean, we're about to get into the big part of the cave. This is, a lot of people think this is big. We call this the Narrows. But I know the cave was discovered by 1798 because I've seen a land deed. And it talks about the Mammoth Cave trap. And we know the cave that was discovered. Valentine Simmons was the guy that bought it. Paid $200 for about 250 acres. And what he was interested in was the dirt in the cave. And the dirt had nitrates. And they knew how to get those nitrates out and convert it to potassium nitrate. Another name for that is saltpeter. And if you had sulfur and charcoal, you got black gunpowder. And saltpeter is also a preservative for food. So both of those things are pretty important for pioneers. These are leaching baths or hoppers. These are the originals. They've been in here since before 1812. So they're making their own gunpowder here. Like sulfur and charcoal you need, but that wasn't hard to find. Saltpeter was the hardest. But it wasn't a big deal. It was a small little operation until the War of 1812 began. During the War of 1812, the price of saltpeter went from 17 cents a pound to over $1. So now we get about 70 slaves down here. We get ox carts going up and down these passageways. They had saltpeter, and they bagged it up, and they shipped it to Wilmington, Delaware, to some guy by the name of DuPont. Mr. DuPont was about 24 years old, and he He learned how to make gunpowder in France, and his family was good friends with a guy named Thomas Jefferson, who was an ambassador in France. And Thomas Jefferson said, why don't you take that skill and go to America and start making gunpowder over there, because I think we're going to need it. So that's what he did. Tupac obviously made a lot of money, and they're still making a lot of money. But everybody was making money during the war. But in 1815, the war ended, price of saltpeter went down, and by 1816, we're doing guided tours down here.
The tour guide was saying that up until 1921 there were only 2 tours here, the short tour and the long tour. The short tour was 6 hours and the long tour was 14 hours.
And these big passages. It's actually taking readings up there. It's taking readings right there. And it's taking readings right down here. You can kind of, right there, see the black. Yeah. This is where they were basically what we call torch throwing. That gives you an idea how well they drilled those out by hand.
Wow. That's popcorn.
Yeah, it's yellow popcorn. But then like that, I just love this place in the spring. They have all this limestone rock. You named the cave, if you weren't a lava tube, you were probably in limestone. But above all this limestone at Mammoth Cave, we got about 60 feet of sandstone. And sandstone doesn't dissolve very easily. When you're burning that for fuel, basically, it just turned black real quick if you had glass globe. And glass was expensive. But here's the way the cave looked to them. Now, all of a sudden, can you imagine a 14-hour cave tour like this? And when we say 14 hours, these people were dressed to the nines. I mean, the men would wear suits and top hats and walking sticks. The women would wear lace-up boots. They would wear corsets. We know they wore corsets. We have found corsets in the cave. Where I guess on a 14-hour trip, some woman said, you know, I really don't care how big my waist looks anymore. And who's going to see it anyway? Halfway up the corkscrew back there where I showed you, I said that's the way they used to come up. We found a corset in there coming up. You know, prehistoric people started coming in this cave a little over 4,000 years ago. And they went deeper into this cave than any cave we have ever found on the planet. From that entrance, they went 3 miles into the cave. They came back 3 miles, so 6 miles through the cave, basically with a burning stick. Because they use cane reed torches. 6 miles with a burning stick. A bunch of burning sticks, because one cane reed torch is only going to last 45 minutes. And you're not going to go 6 miles in 45 minutes over this floor. And dates or where they're from, but we can still figure it out because most of these people stayed in a hotel. We have the hotel register.
In 1838, Stephen Bishop was the first person to cross this bottomless pit using a wooden ladder. The bottomless pit is 105 feet deep. While Fat Man's Misery is still a tight squeeze for large people, it isn't nearly as difficult now as it used to be, and that's because the Civilian Conservation Corps had dug out a walkway through Fat Man's Misery. In fact, all the walkways that we've taken on these tours were cleared by the Civilian Conservation Corps. Otherwise, this would have been an extremely difficult walk over very rough, rocky terrain.
No, I'd be scared of being Oh, wow.
This is actually, we call it church, and that's what homes call that is plant. So like you got these big holes in the ceiling that have wiped off prehistoric drawings. You better have your checkbook if you do that.
The back end of this room has access to the Green River, and it has flooded several times in the past century.
Like 18 hours for them, all in for a while. They really took great time to go and get like carbide for the light.
This is Mammoth Dome. It rises 192 feet.
Nice views. Eventually we get out of the cave, we still got to walk up the hill. To get back on the visitor center. This area is 54, this area is going to rise, it's warm. I'm not going to say we're taking rocks never fall in the cave. That fell in 94, weighed 40 tons. It sounds better when you say paleofeces. That sounds a lot better, but it's just old proof is what it is.
Yeah.
Because I know